We're all experiencing uncertainty and loss during this time. We're also wired to equate that what we do is who we are. It's hard even thinking about giving up a dream job, let alone two. Listen to this story. Just over a year ago, ABC News anchor Paula Faris stepped down as co-anchor of Good Morning America Weekend and co-host of one of my favorite shows, The View. She explains why in her debut book, Called Out. Well, guess what? She joins us live this morning from New York. Good morning to you, Paula. What a treat to talk with you this morning.
It's great to talk with you as well from your home, Alanna. Times have certainly changed for us. Who would have thought that Skype would be the mode of choice in our broadcasting world, right?
No kidding. Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because before the pandemic, you were scheduled to be in Dallas in our studio. Obviously, we're now in our homes now. How are you and your family dealing with quarantining?
We're doing well. The kids have been out of school for a really long time, but I think the thing about this moment is, Alanna, we are all in it together, and we're all experiencing loss on a different level. Some experiencing more than others. Some experiencing loss of job, significance. They're losing family members to this crisis. The big thing, I think, God can redeem every situation. I'm bummed that I can't be there in Texas with all of you for Good Morning Texas, one of my favorite places to be. But there's a plan for everything, and not going to question that. But our family is doing well, and I hope your family is as well.
Paula, that's a great perspective. It's a great perspective. And so let's dive into your book because your perspective has changed. And I can't wait to hear about this because we tend to think that what we do is who we are. I'm guilty of that also.
Absolutely.
But take us back. You seem to have it all. You were anchoring Good Morning America Weekends, The View, covering stories all around the world. But what were you dealing with off camera, physically and mentally?
Well, I was at the top of my game, career-wise, right? I was leaning in hard to what society told me that I should leaning in hard even to what, the religious sectors tell us to find our calling. And unfortunately, Alanna, calling is almost always synonymous with career. And then I leaned in so hard that I burned out. I could tell that I was burned out. I still loved what I did, but I just, took a snapshot of what was going on around me, my relationships with my family, my husband, my children, my church family. My relationship with God was suffering. My health was suffering as well. And I knew that God was trying to get me to slow down. And I went through a series of unfortunate events. I write about it in the book, My Season of Hell. The craziest things happened to me within 7 months. And I knew God was nudging me to slow down and to get off the fast track and get my life back in order. And once I did take that step and finally listen, it was in that space that I found out, Alanna, I didn't know who I was outside of what I did. My identity and my purpose and my calling had completely been wrapped up in what I did. And so when I walked away from those two dream jobs, I no longer knew who I was. And that's where I write a lot of the book. It's about, discovering true, unmovable, unshakable, unrootable purpose, and then discovering our true calling as well.
It takes so much courage to, one, just kind of acknowledge that and then to act on it also. And so I know we've never met before other than right now, but I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Thank you, Alanna.
It's truly moving to take that that leap of faith here. And now we can read it in a book. Now, I understand you had a meeting with the president of ABC face to face. Was that maybe at the climax of when all this changing was happening? Tell me about that, because that sounds intimidating.
Yeah, it was. But I knew that the president had called this meeting. My contract was up, and this was right about the time I had decided to step away from these two dream jobs. And I thought it was crazy in my own mind. I was told that I was crazy. Like, I was still unsure, like, why am I doing this? And also, are people going to think that I'm a failure and that I can't hack it if I'm walking away from these two dream jobs? But I opened the book. The book opens with this meeting with my boss, who is a wonderful human being, James Goldston. And it's the lunch conversation that I have with him, telling him that I'm stepping away from these two dream jobs, and then subsequently what happens and the decisions that I make in the aftermath. So, but that's where the book opens up. And, I hope that the book can encourage people to really root into what matters. I thought that I had it right. I thought that I was, chasing my God-given calling, but I realized that I really just had had it all wrong. And then once it was taken away from me, and sometimes things are taken away out of our own volition, I decided to step away. That's when I realized that my identity and my significance was rooted in the wrong things. And a lot of us are feeling that right now in this pandemic. For me, it took a personal crisis to get my attention. I think God is trying to get our attention, in this global crisis as well. And we have to listen.
Paul, I'm listening to you right now. I can't wait to get a hold of your book. Thank you so much for sharing this. Like I said, it takes you're very brave and thank you for sharing that with us. And so I want to let everybody know. I know it's a crazy time what you did. It just seems, especially in our industry, it seems like, what are you doing? You know what? But whenever you know, and I'm envious of that. So I want to let everybody know about your book. It is called Out. It is available. You are welcome. You are so welcome. It's available for pre-order right now, and it arrives at bookstores next Tuesday. So happy to talk with Paula today.